You're originally from Germany, and
Yep.
then you came to the United States about 15, 16 years ago?
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Mm-hmm. And were you playing guitar when you were in Germany as well, or did that start here?
You know, it actually started in the States. I wasn't in Germany. I was 14 when I moved over, so in Germany I was kind of horseback riding and doing sports, and I
Yeah.
wasn't that interested in playing guitar. In fact, I traded in my guitar lessons for horseback riding lessons at the
Oh.
time. But then when I came to America, when I was about to hit high school, I started playing the guitar. I was kind of lonely because I didn't really know the language, and it was just something to kind of a solitary activity, if you will, that I picked up then in high school. So I started when I was about 15, 16. Was born and raised in the South, in a suicide town. Well, I was only 15 when it burned to the ground. I tore up all my memories, and by the side of the road, with the tip of a needle, I carved my story in stone. Oh. So when you gonna come for me, Lord? When you gonna come for me? 'Cause I've been expecting you forever, waiting here for you. Will you send a little grace? It's the least that you could do. It's the least that you could do. Was not much of a poet. Guess I was missing the anguish. Not a very good lover. Could never capture the language. I was an adequate painter, but it just left me tired. I did a stint as a hitman. In those days, at least, I was inspired. Oh, but when you gonna come for me, Lord? When you gonna come for me? 'Cause I've been expecting you forever, waiting here for you. Will you send a little grace? It's the least that you could do. It's the least that you could do. I hooked up a hit down in the churchyard. I took a walk down Big Dream Boulevard. With all the sand that gets inside this world, we should all be goddamn pearls. So when you gonna come for me, Lord? When you gonna come for me? 'Cause I've been expecting you forever, waiting here for you. Will you send a little grace? It's the least that you could do. Been expecting you forever, waiting here for you. Will you send a little grace? Well, send a little grace. Send a little grace. Send a little grace. Will you send a little grace? Just send a little grace. Send a little grace. Send a little grace. Never gonna be one of God's favorites. Never gonna cheerlead with the angels. I tried to find a church that I could walk in. They tried to nail me on original sin. So when you gonna come for me, Lord? When you gonna come for me? 'Cause I've been expecting you forever, waiting here for you. Will you send a little grace? It's the least that you could do. It's the least that you could do.
After high school, where did you gear yourself right away at that point?
Okay, well, I went to college, and
What did you study there?
I studied biology for a little while. My parents were pushing me heavily to be a doctor or a dentist or something with high earning power, and I had no interest in science at all. I hated it, actually. I liked the humanities, so I asked my parents if I could study music, but they didn't let me because they didn't want to waste their money, on college tuition. But they let me study history, which I loved. I loved history, and but I was playing music all throughout college, and kind of knew that I wanted to do it, actually. So.
Wow, I would say that history has somehow influenced your music. I can hear a lot of stories and historical influences in a lot of your songs.
I mean, I was writing during my college years when I was studying history. I was definitely moved by some things I was learning that made me want to process them through a song.
Oh,
for sure.
That's great. That's great. Can you tell us about one of the songs you played tonight? I love the song Dandelion. There are several of the songs that I heard that were very moving, but any of them that you wish to speak about that might have been moving for you to write, or that was very memorable when you wrote those, if you don't mind?
That's a good question. Well, Dandelion is my personal favorite song because it's my heartbreak song, and it was really just this guy broke my heart, and so at least I got the song out of it. It's sort of like a consolation prize, and it happens to be a good song that other people relate to. So I got to share my pain, and there's something just really therapeutic about being able to do that. So that song, Coming Out of Pain, is my favorite song.
And the one that ends with your grace, I'm forgetting the name of that
song.
Pearls. Pearls, yes. Tell us about that one. I would love to hear the story of that.
That one there was not so much a story to it as just, that's the kind of song that's the topic that interests me a lot, is where the hell is God? And what the hell am I doing? What's the purpose of life? Those are questions I grapple with. And